my family. This is Michael, and I'm here with Find Your Light. And my good friend Sarah Bear is here with me today. We're going to talk about how she healed her Hashimoto's problem and her amazing story with her natural birth. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell me what you're doing.
Hello, my name is Sarah. I am an integrative nutrition health coach. I've been doing this for about 4 years or so. My healing journey actually began when I woke up one day and couldn't move my leg. And I was a runner. I did yoga. I thought I ate very well. So I thought I had just hurt myself, and I took it easy, and it just got worse and worse until a few months later I was unable to walk. I went to the doctors. They just wanted to give me medicine. I went to physical therapists. I went to an acupuncture therapist, which probably helped the most, but it wasn't until I learned about alkalizing your body. The doctors told me that I would never be able to walk again without assistance. It was a really hard time. I was unable to care for myself, for my children, for my home. I was in a really bad depression. I couldn't even go to the bathroom without crying. So I started implementing these practices, very strict, like cutting out all processed food, all processed sugar, no meat, and then adding in greens, lots and lots of greens, adding in vegetables, adding in fruits. And within 3 months, I was walking again and I was running again. And I have I've kept that up for the last 5 years. But this past 2 years ago, when I found myself pregnant, my hormones went all crazy, and I found myself unable to sleep, and I couldn't eat. I had no appetite. I only gained 3 pounds for the pregnancy, and then following the birth, I did finally go to the doctor, and I got the diagnosis of Hashimoto's, which means basically that my body, well, per doctors, my body is attacking my thyroid. And knowing what I know that our body doesn't just attack itself. That's just an excuse. They don't understand what's really happening in the medical field. They wanted me to go on synthetic hormones. You won't be as tired anymore. You'll be able to sleep.
But there's an underlying cause for everything.
Everything. And you really need to look at it. Most often than not, it is chronic inflammation, low levels of chronic inflammation. And you can eat really well, but your stress levels could be through the roof, and there's causing low levels of chronic inflammation. So what I did is I started, it started with Mike's help with a juice cleanse and a juice fast. I couldn't do fully because I am breastfeeding, and I need to keep some heavier foods in my diet to keep my milk production. But I was able to really flush my system with that cleanse and really get things going. And I introduced a shake into my life, a live, raw, nutrient-dense shake. And after 6 months of suffering really bad, for the first time, I was able to fall asleep when my head hit the pillow. Although I will say I got really, really good at meditating because I was trying to fall asleep. So it was, it really proved to me that your body can heal, absolutely will heal when given the proper nutrients. It's not a guessing game. You have to remove what's causing the problem, what in your life is causing this issue, and food, your lifestyle, your stress levels. You really need to take that into account. And once you take them out and give your body what it needs to heal, it will heal itself. That's what our bodies are meant to do. It's meant to heal. And when I started with the anti-inflammatory diet, I also healed my endometriosis, or put that into remission, as I should say.
What exactly is that?
Endometriosis is when the endometrium in your body grows outside of the uterus, and it causes, in mild cases, really bad periods and crampings. In extreme cases, it can cause digestive issues and pain all throughout your body. And currently they say they don't know why it happens, and they say there's no cure for it either. But I'm living proof that when you really take into account what you're putting into your body will naturally heal.
we also must understand that as humans in 2019, that we have been going through a transformation to awaken to what we're speaking about now for a very long time. We're pretty much coming out of the Industrial Revolution in 2019, so our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, they quite possibly could have had very toxic diets because our grandparents, especially, and our parents, they grew up with the TV dinners, the fast food coming into society, microwaves were introduced, food in cans, unprocessed foods, these were all new things. Mm-hmm. And we must understand that when we eat this stuff, it changes our genetic coding, which is passed through the mother's milk to the baby. The parasites are passed, the molds are passed, the bad yeast, the funguses, this is all passed through a mother's milk. So we, healing ourselves, we're actually healing our ancestors, we're actually healing our parents, we're healing our grandparents and our great-grandparents. So we must understand what we're up against. Sometimes you could be the healthiest person and you're still sick. You must understand what you're up against. So let that be some motivation. And also, Sarah talked about cutting the meat out. This channel, me personally, and I'm sure Sarah too, I'm not here to dictate anyone on a special way to eat, but in 2019, when you're trying to heal a chronically ill body, the meat's got to go because of how toxic it is in today's day and age. The USDA stamp is not what it used to be. I'm not even going to get into the spiritual and the energetic aspects of it all because that's for a whole other video, but the meat is toxic to your colon, it is toxic to your intestinal tract, and it's toxic to your body. We're trying to rid ourselves of these toxins to allow our body to reach homeostasis so things like this can happen. So when you became, so you went through that first, did they ever figure out what was wrong with the leg?
Nope.
Okay.
I had MRIs, CAT scans, x-rays. One doctor even had the audacity to say that's in my head. Right. While I'm crying on the floor because I can't stand. I mean, it was, no one told me to this day what it was.
So this happens a lot, everyone. The doctors won't know what exactly is going on. They either throw a diagnosis at you that could be it, so now there's a diagnosis in your head, or they'll actually make one up. Mm-hmm. This happens a lot too. This is why diagnosing is so dangerous, because it implements that there's something wrong with you permanent. Nothing's permanent. We heal the body the same way. Nutrition, lifestyle, meditation, spiritual connection. These choices, enhanced in the right way, will allow your body to kick all disease out of the body, mind, and spirit. And
if you are to get a diagnosis from a doctor, instead of taking that as
an end-all be-all,
have that just be an indicator that your body is telling you something's not right. It's not a diagnosis. It's not a, this isn't what your life is going to be. It's just an indicator. It's your body telling you that something is off. It's never, a life sentence.
I thought of this analogy, and I hope it makes sense. If you take 10 people, all different types of people, and we all fall off a roof, all 10 people, every single person's going to probably break something different. So if you have a broken arm, you're going to call it broken arm disease, broken leg disease, broken back disease, but the problem is we all fell off the roof. So what I'm trying to say with that is everyone's body has weaknesses from birth. When we go through a toxic evolution from birth to however old we are when we get sick, the first thing that's going to break is the weak spot in your body.
Yep.
The adrenals, the thyroid. The thyroid gets hit because of the heavy metals in our water and our air and all this type of stuff. But for Sarah's case, it was her leg. Who knows what? It could have been part of the hip, the lymphatic system.
Nerves, the nervous system.
Anything.
Yeah.
But we don't know. We always resort back to how to heal everything.
Yep. It's not you can't compartmentalize healing.
Exactly. That's a great way to say it. You cannot Say that again?
You cannot compartmentalize healing.
Can't do that. So, these videos are to motivate people. And what I also found is just because you don't have exactly what's wrong with her, we can take some of these testimonies and try what people did, even though I might be over here with what's wrong with me and she's over here. You could have a tumor growing out the side of your head, and you do some of these things, it's going to help you. And I mean that seriously.
Absolutely.
So, is there anything else you want to add about the journey before we get into the other stuff we want to talk about?
I mean, I think it's really, like you said, to not let the diagnosis be an end-all, to really just use it as a stepping stone in your healing process, and to not be hyper-focused on that. You know, if I were to be hyper-focused on my thyroid, you would be missing the whole thing. So when you're healing, like Mike said, you focus on everything. It's a whole, and while everyone's healing is different, there are a lot of similarities that we all have to implement, which might look different, but you know, it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. So please, she adopted a plant-based, high nutritious lifestyle. She meditates.
That's a really big one, guys. You really need to reduce your stress. I mean, just driving in your commute from work is stressful. Being on the road, being with children, these high demanding lifestyles that we all live. You need to find time every single day, twice a day if you can, to sit and quiet your mind and just focus on your breathing. Reach out to someone, look at a class, watch a YouTube video on how to meditate. It is so important to get that back into your life.
We are missing a part of our life if we are not reaching consciousness on a regular basis.
Yes.
Life is about the internal, our journey back to the internal from unattachment of the external. And most of the time, sickness will lead us to our true selves because it is a disconnection from who we truly are. So many times the lessons that we learn from the sickness and the dis-ease, if we choose to go down the healing path, will lead us to who we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please reach out and comment if you guys have any questions for Sarah. But there's one other thing that I wanted her to talk about, and that is how she had a 100% natural birth. It wasn't in the hospital. It was in your living room with your husband, correct?
Yes, it ended up being in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
This is my third child, and I had very traumatic experiences in the hospital. When you go to a hospital, they strip you of your natural right to birth, and instead it becomes a medical procedure. And I took the time while I was pregnant to educate myself on how women are supposed to birth. We've birthed for millions of years. I mean, we've been birthing as long as we've been here. And how did we do it without doctors? How did we do it when, at one point they were strapping women down to gurneys and knocking them out and pulling the baby out of the mother and just...
Babies were meant to stand up when we give birth, right? Or lay back in water? Or
Water birth is supposed to be very healing. We're not supposed to lay on our backs with our feet up. We're supposed to move. We're supposed to feel each contraction. And we've been taught to fear birth. What if something goes wrong? You know what? Your body knows what to do. It's good to educate I don't want people just going out and birthing. You need to educate yourself on what to do and to remove the fear. But if we take a look at a mammal, a pregnant mother in the wild, she will not give birth if she is fearful, because fear actually stops birth. So if we're in a hospital and there's lights and there's doctors and nurses are around, they're saying things and this mother doesn't understand what's going on, she's fearful, so her body is naturally going to want to stop birth. And then the doctor is going to say, oh, failure to progress, you're not progressing in labor, so we need to cut you open and get that baby out. Which is
a huge hit to the baby's immune system.
Absolutely. The baby gains so much good bacteria from sliding out the vaginal canal. I mean, nature didn't mess up in the way that it designed us, and we are supposed to birth. When you have a C-section, then you're pumped full of all those drugs that then the baby has to literally detox from in its first hours of life. It can inhibit the connection of breastfeeding right away. There's so many, granted, there is times when a C-section is medically necessary, but most of the times it is not. It is more convenient for the doctor.
And it's becoming a thing. It's really gaining momentum in the world. And the reason why I'm a guy talking about this is because I just came back from Costa Rica, and I'm very curious on how other cultures deal with this kind of stuff. I talk to a lot of women that deliver natural births in Costa Rica, and it is actually a trend that they're pushing on purpose for the very reason for us as humans to stop the enhancement of our biological selves. So they're really pushing it, but hold true and please continue.
So me and my husband decided that we wanted to do a unassisted, it's called free birth at home. He was also very well read on anything that would require a medical transfer. But there's things that we don't think about. There's a problem like the shoulder getting stuck. Well, if a mother just moves position, like you're not allowed to do in the hospital, the baby actually knows what to do as well and moves itself to just come out. I took back the power, and so it happened. I went into labor. I woke up.
When Sarah first told me this story, she's working on my dreads, and she just said it very nonchalantly that, yeah, we had our baby in our living room with my husband, and I was like, yes! I knew why we're friends. Like, that's why this happened. And then I was excited because I've actually never met anyone that I know people that have had births in their house, but with a midwife, but just with you and the husband. And I also, as a man, I believe that when the baby does come out, there shouldn't be anybody else in the room. It should be just between the two people. Or part of the tribe, if you got a tribe.
Yeah.
If you want to call it that.
Absolutely. I mean, if it was during the day, my daughter would have been there, but it was 4 a.m, so she was sleeping. But
not lights and doctors.
No, we had a fire going. We had we had the diffuser going. We had beautiful music playing. I was able to walk around my living room while my contractions worked, and I moved my body. It was almost like I was dancing.
Dancing, I've heard that before.
And it was beautiful and it was powerful. And, I at one point I said I need to be in water. And so it's funny you mentioned that, but I was like, let's fill up the bathtub. I need to be in water.
I've heard you want to have water. You want to have all these different places for you just to go.
Yeah, just to go. And I was all over. And I never walked around before when I was laboring because I had been in a hospital bed. So I went into the I actually ended up turning the shower on too because that felt it felt like rain. And I told Mike this, and it might sound silly coming out, but when I went into transition, when the baby's head was crowning, I felt all of my ancestors behind me. I felt so I'm about to cry. I felt so connected. I felt so empowered. This is what I am meant to be doing. This is what we are meant to be doing. This is the power that we need to step back into. This is the power that we need to own again. And, when she came out, it was just this flood of emotion, which I know you get regardless, but having my husband catch her and then having us sit together with no interruptions, just breathing her in, having her do what she's meant to do, not shoving lights in her and measuring her. I mean, we kept her attached until the placenta stopped pulsating to keep that.
And that takes a couple hours, right?
Yeah.
So the placenta keeps going, and you can actually eat the placenta, consume its nutrients.
Absolutely.
And they clean the baby off, and they put stuff on their eyes.
Antibiotic ointment. Why?
I don't know if you mothers out there or fathers know this. They put an antibiotic ointment on the baby's eyes the minute it's out, and the minute it's born, and they don't tell you this.
No, and I actually had to ask for it not to be done with my second because I was a little bit aware of why are you guys doing that? Oh, well, because of risky behaviors. I'm like, I'm monogamous. I'm in a marriage. I don't need this. And then they inject it with vaccines and toxins if you ever want to talk more about that.
Yeah, that's a whole other video.
But yeah, it was, you need to reclaim your power as a woman. And even if you choose not to, birth at home, there's birthing centers. Get a doula, get someone who is on your side, a midwife.
Out there.
Midwives are wonderful.
I'm sure you'd be open to some consultations on this stuff.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I am always open to talk and to speak. I have a lot of references in this area. My tribe of women when it comes to birth and pregnancy and raising babies is strong and wide. It's a wonderful thing. And, if you would have asked me when I first got pregnant, was I going to be birthing with just my husband and I would have thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
If I can recommend anyone read any book, Hypnobirthing, which we'll talk about.
Hypnobirthing, and what's the...
Hypnobirthing, I forget who it's by, honestly.
All right, Hypnobirthing.
You can't go wrong with it. And Ina May Gaskin, the mother of home birthing who lived on the farm.
Oh, okay.
You need to learn what pregnancy and what birth is doing to your body, and really become connected with it all. There's a lot of healing that can happen in that connection and in that power. It's not just
your
a medical
creator is coming through to you.
Yes.
And you give it the environment to really allow it to come through and push another life form out of the body. I'm telling you, women out there, obviously I'm a man, but I believe that part of the issue on the earth right now is we've been being run by ego for so long. The war, the confrontations, the buildup of money, and the non-care of suffering. When we balance this out with the female energy and spread the love that only truly a female can feel into the earth, a lot's going to change. And it's happening right now.
And I can feel it. You can feel it.
There's a lot coming through right now. I feel it too. See, we have to understand, and you women out there, I'm making this video with my friend Sarah because I'm waiting for you women to wake up to what you truly are. The reason why society has beaten it down that men are up here or something stupid and women are down here or something stupid, that old religious dogmatic stuff, it needs to leave our minds.
Yes. I mean, women.
We need more leaders that are women.
We are creators.
More.
We literally are creators, and we are powerful, and we are magical, and we need to step back into that and see it for what it is. We are not below. We are equal to our males, and as Mike said, the divine feminine is rising, and it is coming, and we can work together with our divine partners, with our divine masculine, and together. That is where the change is, when we're working and balancing these energies. But we can't balance these energies if your feminine is still down here. Own it. Step into your power.
You have to, it also takes a lot of faith. It takes a lot of understanding. It takes awareness, and it takes trust in the unknown. Simply trusting in the unknown. Something that we can't put into words. Something that we can't, it's a feeling. We're meant that we can't live by feeling. We must live by a path that's laid out for us, or some book, or some person that already knows. Whatever it is. So we must live by our feelings, because this is how we communicate with the universe. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but that's actually how we communicate with other energies as well. So, would you like to add anything else before we depart?
I just like to thank you so much for having me.
Say bye to the viewers as well.
It's been great, thank you, and I hope that you all get a little something from this, and maybe go sit in a quiet corner today.
yeah, please. Sarah Bear, my friend, she is a health coach, or wellness
integrative health coach.
Integrative health coach, and she is 100% open to having a consultation with anyone that's interested in this. Maybe consultations, guys, with someone that has been down a particular road, you can learn so much, because it's going to open the seeking up within yourself.
Exactly. I offer free consultations. So the first one, you don't have to necessarily work with me. I offer groups, and I also offer just an ear to listen or a shoulder to lean on, because we're all in this together.
Yes, we are. And healing is a lifestyle. It's not just one thing.
Exactly.
So, I'm Michael with Find Your Light, and remember, taking care of yourself is taking care of the world, and I hope you enjoyed these words. Peace out.
Bye.